Water management can be quite a complex subject. The focus is to make sure you have enough water in your pond for the fish. That's it. During the wet season, it is important that your pond doesn't overflow. This could damage the foundation of the pond liner and the fish could escape. It is recommended to use water for irrigation during the dry season. The fish can handle a considerable reduction of the water table. However, you'll need to know how many fish are in your pond and their biomass. If the water gets too low, then it could be dangerous for the fish. We would recommend not to remove more than 1/3 of your pond's volume over the dry season. Pond health. For the ponds to work for you, they will need to be green ponds. Green ponds have higher concentrations of phytoplankton. This creates oxygen during the day because some phytoplankton produce oxygen through a process called photosynthesis and can provide nourishment for your fish. Tilapia can eat phytoplankton and commercial fish feed. If you're not feeding any commercial feed, then before you put the fingerlings in, it is recommended to fertilize the pond. This can be done with a large perforated bag filled with chicken manure, which acts somewhat like a big tea bag. Ideally, fertilized would be with 1 kilogram of manure per bag on each side of the pond. The rule of thumb is 4 kilograms of manure per 100 square meters of pond. If it gets too green, remove the fertilizer bag for 2 to 3 weeks until the pond color becomes light green. While the fish are in the pond, it is important to monitor the pond health. Pond is full of fish, bacteria, and phytoplankton. The whole pond is alive. Therefore, it is important for you to take care of it. If there's too much phytoplankton, the pond can collapse and reduce the oxygen down to almost zero. This is very dangerous for your fish. Therefore, keeping your pond happy will keep your fish alive. The easiest ways to monitor the health of your pond is by the color and smell of your pond. The pond should be a nice light green comparable to a lime or an unripe mango. There should be no smell or just very slightly earthy. If the pond is a very thick, dark green or starts smelling very earthy, it is time to reduce or stop feeding for a couple of days. If the water is clear, then it will be good to feed more and add some fertilizer. After about 1 year of fish production, there will be a collection of sediment at the bottom of the pond. We would recommend to use a slurry pump or something similar to pump out the sludge from the bottom of your pond. This mud is very nutritious for your plants, so we recommend to pump it directly to your crops. Removing the sludge will help the stability and quality of your pond. Safety. Pond safety is a very important subject. These ponds can be incredibly dangerous for people and animals. Especially the ponds with pond liner are very slippery and almost impossible to get out of once you fall in. There are a couple of solutions to this issue. Firstly, make sure everyone in your family and the neighbors know and understand the potential dangers of the pond. Secondly, hang a net or rope into the pond that is secured outside so it is possible to climb out. If there's no rope, no net or pole that is hanging in the water, no one will be able to get out of the pond. Furthermore, if animals fall in, they'll most likely drown and or break the pond. To stop animals falling into the pond, it is recommended to build a fence around the perimeter of your pond. This will also help keeping children out of the pond area. Water chemistry. If you want a more in-depth understanding of your pond health, you can measure the water chemistry. There are multiple ways of doing this. This can be done more or less directly at your pond with test kits or other basic methods. The most important values that are usually tested are temperature, pH, ammonium, and nitrite. Make sure to use proper safety equipment when you're doing such water quality tests, because most of the commercially available tests contain dangerous chemicals that can be very harmful when introduced into your eyes or ingested. Temperature is a key parameter to observe. It can be done with a thermometer. For tilapia, the water temperature should be between 28 and 32 degrees Celsius. If it is lower, the fish will grow slower. If the temperature is higher, they may die. To keep the water temperature at a stable range, make sure to have at least 1.5 meters of water left in the pond. The pH is a measure of acidity of the pond. The pH can range from 1, incredibly acidic, and 14, incredibly alkaline. In green pond aquaculture, it should ideally range from 7 to 8. If the pH is too low, adding lime at a rate of 5 kilograms per 100 square meters will help increase the pond's pH and stabilize the pond's pH. This needs to be done slowly and carefully to not stress the fish. The ammonium is a waste product from the fish. This can be toxic for fish in high concentration. The pH and ammonium are linked. The higher the pH, a larger amount of ammonium will be converted to ammonia. Ammonia is much more toxic for the fish, so be careful that your pH and NH4 does not get too high. Nitrite is another waste product from fish. This too can be toxic, but it is already toxic in lower concentrations than ammonium. If possible, these parameters should be tested regularly every 1 to 2 weeks, using basic test kits which are available in aquarium markets. Also, these measurements should be documented and reviewed to see if the water quality of your pond is stable or not. Furthermore, over a longer period of time, it'll show you when during the year could be critical for the fish. The pond should not overflow in the rainy season. In the dry season, at least 2/3 should be left for the fish. Smell and color are the easiest indicators for the pond health. Light green and no particular odor is a healthy fish pond. If it is very dark green and smells very earthy or rotten, reduce feeding. After 1 or 2 years of production, remove the sludge by pumping the bottom of the pond. Inform family and neighbors about the dangers of the fish pond. Install a rope or net so people or animals can get out. Install a fence to stop animals falling in. Safety is very important when doing water chemistry. Wear glasses to protect your eyes and gloves to protect your hands.